Hello everyone, this is Todd Hefferman from the Southern Illinoisan, and welcome to our first Salukimania Podcast. My guest today is Saluki football coach Nick Hill, a DuQuoin native. Started 2 years for the Salukis and led them to the national semifinals in 2007. Last year was his first year as the head coach. SIU won 2 of their last 3 games. They finished 4-7. Returned several starters, and we'll be kicking it off in a couple of days here in early August for the 2017 season. So without further ado, here is my interview with Nick Hill. When are you guys getting started? August 4th?
August 4th we report.
And then you'll start practice the 5th?
Yep. We'll do it kind of like we did last year, where we have a split practice that first day where we bring in the veterans, the returning players, and then the second practice will be rookies or second-year players. We did it last year, really liked it. That felt like it, you get a ton of reps. It's a long day. It's the same practice twice, but everybody gets kind of acclimated.
Now there's a new rule, and I don't think you did this. I don't think you did 2 live practices back-to-back anyway on the same day, but you can't do that anymore.
Right.
So you usually do one maybe live tackling and then one just kind of with shells. Is that what you can do now?
Yeah. So the rule is too, like, as far as you could still have shoulder pads on the next day, but by the time really these rules, the difference in training camp as far as 2-a-days, 2-a-days has almost weeded itself out. Anyways, I think last year we had 4 of them, and then the contact after a scrimmage. A lot of people. We didn't ever do that last year anyways. After a full day scrimmaging, coming back the next day and going live, we never did that in training camp, so that won't really affect us. Now, no 2-a-days, you got to be strategic on how you're going to get everything in that you normally get in, but we feel pretty good, especially us starting a week later the season. We still get that extra week during school that we'll be practicing.
Now, will you space it out? Will you have a week where you only have like 2 practices, or you'll go pretty much because you don't play until the 9th? I believe. Right,
but one of the new rules too is that you can't go 7 consecutive days. You have to have so many days off. So, and that day off is completely off for the players. So, it's good for the players. They'll be well rested, but we won't ever go where we just have a couple practices. I mean, once we get into training camp, we're rolling through the season.
Do you hope to go in the morning or the afternoon or a couple
during this fall camp? The majority of our stuff will be like mid-morning. We won't go super early because I like to get them here and get them a good breakfast, and then get them time to let the food settle and get some meetings in, and then get out there about 10 o'clock.
How are Jeremy and Craig doing? They had shoulder injuries during the spring?
Both of them are 100% full go, ready to rock, so they haven't missed a day of summer workouts, and both of them look really good.
3 quarterbacks. Do you envision adding another one before the season starts?
We've looked, and we'll probably have those 3s. When you go just adding random people, I don't feel good about, as far as just the chemistry in the room. You just add a person, and then you might have to, if it doesn't work out, people coming and going. So we feel good with, especially when we get the 3rd one, and this summer, if we didn't have Matt, as far as being that 4th guy, when needing is keeping him, if he was going to get some reps in the springtime, but he hurt his knee there late in spring. So the last week was designed to kind of bring him back over to offense and let him, he's always going to stay in touch with what we're doing on offense, just to be a 4th guy, because you never know.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a team go in with 3. I've seen a team lose 3 in one game.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, Matt, a lot of the time last year was our backup quarterback or went in second. So, we feel like he's a guy that you can win football games with playing quarterback, just trying to get him on the field. So seeing how that shakes out at safety and what we do with Matt, and at the quarterback position, see how Brandon George comes along, the true freshman quarterback. But you're exactly right. You have to have, 4. But we think we have 4 with Matt.
Did you see enough during the spring to keep Matt DeSomer at safety?
Yeah, he did it. He did a really good job. They're excited about him on defense, and just keep staying healthy. We're pretty deep at safety, but he can do a lot of different things, and he consistently made plays like we thought he would. Cause some turnovers, and the first spring too. He's a quick learner, so I look for him to in the fall to really kind of take off as far as knowing the defense. I mean, he's only practiced 10 times on the defensive side of the ball, so he's still a baby over there as far as learning and knowing where to be.
How do you structure practice differently when you have to play 11 games in a row?
I think it's an important deal as far as how we keep our team healthy. Really just monitoring the guys and knowing that it's a long season. So we still got to get our work in, and I think it's important. We won't be the only team that ever do this. A couple teams last year that I know were successful went 11 straight. A lot of times when you had 12 games, a lot of people would go 11. So we won't be the first team to ever do it. We won't let it be an excuse. We just have to know when to push our guys, when to back off of them, and do more teaching through walkthroughs and things like that, because ultimately you got to stay healthy. You can't beat your own team up throughout the week of practice. Last year we took Sunday was our day off, and we practiced Monday for a short time, and then we went Monday through really Friday. But this year we're going to go back to the way that a lot of teams, it's kind of 50-50 on how teams do it. But we felt like with the 11 games, Monday will be our day off, and then we'll go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, walk through Friday. So I think that'll help us stay a little fresher too.
In your experience, getting back on Sunday after a game day, you can at least show them the film and maybe get on the field and show them some things as well. So you don't want to give them the day off on Sunday necessarily. Right.
Last year we did. We gave them, and then we brought them in Monday mornings to go over the film. So it's, teams have won championships doing it that way. Teams win championships doing it the other way. You just have to be good. I just think for our guys for this year, staying healthy and fresh throughout the week, giving them Monday off, bringing them in Sunday, getting them with our strength coaches, get them in the pool, things like that, and the recovery, I think will be help us a little bit.
Yeah, Illinois State played 11 straight last year. They made the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
So it can be done.
Oh, definitely. No, it can no doubt be done. We just have to go out there and play. That's what I tell them about everything. No one really cares. If you ask the team that we're going to play the 11th game of the year, they're not going to feel sorry for you or care that you've played 11 in a row. You just have to go out there, and it's the hand that we've been dealt. So you just deal with it, and you turn it into an advantage all that you can.
Anybody you expect to miss first week of camp? Any lingering injuries from the spring that you know of?
No. Right now, we've a couple guys that are coming back a little bit. Jimmy Jones is still from his foot, but he's out there running and doing the workouts. But we'll kind of monitor him early in training camp as far as his number of reps and things like that. So there's a few guys that will kind of be like that, but as far as someone that's completely a scratch for the beginning of training camp, we don't have right now.
Does it feel a lot different the second time through now?
Yeah, it does. It I don't know if different is the right word, but more comfortable as far as you've been through it, and now there's no price tag for experience, and so things that you want to tweak. I'm going through training camp now, and things that going through my notes from last year, things that I liked or things that I would want to change, maybe just a practice schedule, or even from what time we eat or what time we get them up in the mornings, things like that that I think go a long way. So I'm excited about year two. I really am. I'm excited that majority of the whole staff is back, and both coordinators are back. So the terminology is the same, and our guys can really flourish. I think that I'm really excited about our defense being able to play in the same defense for 2 years in a row. There's not anybody on our team that's played in the same defense for more than a year, for 2 years in a row. Ryan Neal's, this will be his 4th year starting games for us, and he's never had back-to-back coordinators. So it's been a brand new training camp for him every single year, learning new terminology. And if you ask anybody that's ever played the game, the only way to really be at your best is to, know what you're doing inside and out, playing fast, and that comes with reps and time. And hopefully that's what we're building here is by the time you're in it 3-4 years in a row, you become a master at it.
Yeah, you would hope. Big plays were a problem on defense.
Yeah.
You hope with all the experience back and playing in a system in the second year, you could change that. What else do you think has to change on defense?
Just that. We were good in some areas, and we just have to be, continue to get better at, the fundamentals of football. We got to turn people over more. I think it'll be an emphasis for us. Everybody's going to talk about that, but you give yourself a chance on offense if you don't turn it over, no matter if you're really good or not. But if you're taking care of the football and you're playing solid on special teams, you're going to be in a ton of games because you're not just going to give people. But then on the flip side, we've got to kind of take that next step of turning people over, creating some havoc, and getting the ball out to give ourselves a chance to steal some points. And so I think that, not giving up the big play, teams are going to score. The game is turned into where people move the football, and the rules and the up-tempo offenses and the run-pass options and all that kind of stuff, people can move. But it's still, when you get inside the 20 and you get inside the red zone, it's still tough to score. And so that's what we have to get good at, is just, they're going to hit some plays, make them work it. Don't give them a free one by busting a coverage or missing a tackle and giving them a 50-yard touchdown or a 60-yard touchdown. And we got better at that the last 3 weeks of the season, and that's why, we won 2 out of 3. We made people work for it. And our guys played good in the red zone. We were good on third down, and we were pretty good on defense in the red zone of keeping people out of the end zone. So if you do that and you make them get down into the 25 and in, then we feel like, you give yourself a shot.
Yeah, I'm always impressed by teams that are out of the playoffs but finish well. And you guys did finish well. You beat a good South Dakota team, and you beat a really good Western Illinois team at the end, and fought Youngstown pretty hard on the road. And they ended up making it to the championship. Right.
And I think our guys, especially our young guys, when Youngstown went on that run, they remember it being 14-14 with, 6 minutes to go, and we've got the ball to go maybe take the lead against a team that played in the national championship. And there's no moral victories, but for a young team that during that game, 17 freshmen and true freshmen played a ton of snaps in that game, in their minds through the offseason, spring ball, it's like, hey, those guys are the same people that just went on a run to the national championship. We're on the road, in game 10, playing them with a shot to win in the fourth quarter. So I think that we'll have a more confident team, and one that, even though we lost a few guys on defense, even Kyron and Chase pretty much swapped series last year, and Chase missing a game, but Kyron played just as many snaps as Chase. And we'll lose Chase, and the same thing with, Kari and DeAndre and TJ Beelan. That defensive line, we were continuing to interchange. And we'll be young on the D-line, but really our back 7 guys with Cody Kreider and Aaron Reed and Whitney Simon and Kyron Watson, and then all of our DBs, Jeremy and Ryan and Roman and Craig James and CJ Jennings. All those guys are back on the back end. So a lot of guys that have played a lot of football for us, so we need to see them take that next step.
I spoke to Chase today. What do you like about his chances with Miami?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday actually, and the NFL is a different league, and it's tough to make it. And he's in a good spot. He really is. I think he's going to get a lot of reps in training camp. He's got to stay healthy, and I'm going to be, like I told him, I'm going to be rooting for him. I got to get his address so I can send him some SIU stuff so he can wear it during training camp. But Chase has got the right attitude for it. what I think gives him a great chance is, and we've always harped, is special teams. And he can play special teams, and he can run, so he can run down on kickoff. And that's what's going to – anytime you're a linebacker and you're an undrafted free agent, you got to be able to play special teams, because when it comes down to those last cuts, it usually is the special teams coordinator saying, hey, I need him or I need him. It makes our team better. So Chase knows that he's got – it's got to work. I mean, however many guys go to training camp now, 90, I think, and 53 guys make the final roster. It's a tough thing to make, the NFL, but he's there and he's got everything right in front of him, and we're rooting for him.
You would emphasize the run game in the spring. Now that you're done with that and looked at all the film, is that something you can hang your hat on first this fall, you think?
Yeah, I mean, have to wait to see. We need to have another – training camp is so big too, and continue. We got a lot better in the springtime running the football and committing to running it, and really our offensive line becoming more physical. This will be, since I've been here, and we still have to go out there and perform, but a chance to be the best offensive line in the last 4 years. We have a lot of guys that are going to compete. The first time, top to bottom, that we're going to have competition just about at every single position that could be starters. When you look at it, we have 8, almost 9 guys with Jack White, who hasn't been here, but 8 guys that have started games for us at the offensive line that are back. So 5 spots, creating some competition. That second offensive line, we're going to play around with some different spots, and people are going to have to come into training camp knowing that I'm going to have to play really well, because I'm fighting every day for my starting job. Matt Chmielewski is a redshirt freshman, is maybe the most impressive so far from spring through summer workouts. Was going to fight somebody for a spot, so I'm excited about the offensive line. I really am, and us being able to have a physicality up front.
You moved a couple guys around, tackle and guard. Is Jacob Marnin your center? Is Jack White a guy that can play center?
Yeah, Jack, plays center, and so that'll be Marnin did an outstanding job for us last year as a redshirt freshman.
He was very impressive.
He was, and he's one of those guys, which is a good thing, is you kind of forget about him just because he's not making mistakes. He's where he's supposed to be all the time. The kid's never got a B since he's been to SIU, and he's going on his 3rd year here, so he's got a 4.0, and you want that out of your center. He can pick up that playbook. He knows the playbook like the back of his hand. He knows how to set protections and what we want. So, and then Jack came in and did a really good job. Was probably one of our most physical linemen in the springtime, and he's only been here a semester. So they're going to push each other, and it's our job to find the best 5 guys and put them out there on the field. And so I'm excited that we got options.
Yeah, return game. I mean, you've got everybody. I picked you 5th. A lot of people picked you 8th, 7th, but you have somebody back at every position. They may not be 5th-year seniors, but you've got kicker back, your punter back, your return specialist back. Jacob Varble, if he's healthy, played a lot of tight end for you. So could be a pretty good year.
Yeah, I'm excited about the way that we're going about bringing these guys along. Like you said, I mean, Jake Varble was a redshirt freshman, and like you said, everybody's got to stay healthy, and there's going to be injuries on our team and every team in the country, and hopefully we've got depth to overcome that. But a lot of guys that are high school kids that are learn and grow, and we get them. And Jake Varble really, just his demeanor, he's getting bigger and stronger. He's a guy that can play all the downs. You can split him out, or you can put his hand in the dirt and block. Has a chance to be a guy that everybody in this league knows who he is. He's 6'5". He's 240 pounds now. He can run. He can catch the ball. Played good in games last year and played well in the spring. And so, feel really good about – I mean, Jake's got 3 more years here, and we've had a lot of good tight ends, but could be one of those guys that people really start to learn his name and can become that reliable guy that we've had here before. And same thing in the return game. we were meeting this morning special teams wise, and we brought in Braden Beard, who people from the University of Cincinnati is a transfer wide receiver, but started every game last year at punt return for Cincinnati, and did a really good job. He's got 3 years left to play. We'll push people for some return time too. We got DJ returning kicks, Daquan's returning kicks a lot, and then we got a couple true freshmen in that class, kind of like DJ was last year, that we feel could probably be a spark here and there in the return game or on offense. So we've got some guys that can return it.
We'll talk about your freshmen when the fall gets here, but quarterback. Brandon George coming in, not your average college quarterback at this level, a Gatorade Player of the Year, and his dad was a coach as well, who trains quarterbacks almost for a living. Is it too hard for him to pick up the offense to play as a true freshman? How hard is that at quarterback in your system?
You can pick it up. I mean, to really master it. I mean, you just have to know what to give him. We wouldn't have him go out there. If Brandon was taking snaps for us, he wouldn't have the entire playbook, or we would try to help him out as much as we can. And he's like you're like us. We haven't been out there with the ball with him. Yeah. Until that Saturday, August 5th. As far as we getting our hands on him, we have him, and he's a quick learner in the film room. But the best thing about that is we have Sam, and Sam's our quarterback. And he doesn't have to press like, hey, he's going to compete because he's a competitor and come in here. And same thing, Sam knows that. He's got to perform every single day, but it's not like he needs to put the pressure on himself where he's got to come in and the whole team is, relying on him. So he needs to learn and take it, like anybody. You're gonna have your mistakes, and you're going to throw an interception, and you're going to come in here, and the best ones, they learn from it. And so I'm excited to get out there on the field with Brandon for sure.
Dick, you played at DuQuoin High School and went to Western on a basketball scholarship, played 1 year, and we're going to walk onto the basketball team here when you originally came to Southern. When did you kind of turn to play football full time?
Well, I did walk on the team for that year that I had to sit out. So okay. I had to I practiced every single day with them. It was the year that that was 2005, went to the second round and got beat by West Virginia. And so right up there, I got a ring from it. But it taught me a lot. It taught me about winning. I was in the heyday of winning the Missouri Valley Conference championships here in basketball, and I mean, was competitive. And Darren Brooks and Stetson Harrison and Jamal Tatum and Tony Young, and I was on a good basketball team. Matt Shaw was a freshman and a redshirt freshman and started that season, and Kyle Smith-Peters, who's now the coach at Logan. And so there were some heated practices, and they knew they practiced, they got after it, and that was Floorborn U, and you got you play defense 95% of the practice. And so but the next year after that, we got beat by Appalachian State, and I was Joel's backup, but he was a senior. That was Joel's last game. And then I was planning on then playing and being eligible to play that year in basketball, but talked it over with Coach Kill and then Coach Lowry, and I had a couple days to think about it, and just if I was going to be the starting quarterback for the football team, I needed to be 100% in. I think if you play another position, you might be able to do it, but quarterback and your guys knowing, I would have had to miss so much time. And that year, you go to the NCAA tournament, you're probably missing some of spring practice, and if you're the starting quarterback, it just, looking back, it was the best decision I could have made.
Now, they ran into the bleachers during Floorborn U. Were those physically as tough practices as some of Jerry's?
Yeah, or I don't know. I mean, football practice is pretty tough, but it definitely was a mentality that our basketball team had. I can remember being on the sideline, and we were winning some games 50-48, or there was some grinded out games, But so yeah, they had a mentality that was pretty tough on the basketball team, but I wouldn't. Football practice is definitely pretty physical.
You've done a really good job with community service with this team and stressing that. Was that something that was stressed to you when you were growing up?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just what I like about this, job. I love every second of this, and so much of it is not coaching X's and O's of football. It is, but you've got a platform, and especially in Southern Illinois with SIU, and a platform to make a difference, and that's what we want these guys. We get them out in the community and hopefully teach them, things that you can the rest of your life that make you feel good. We have never done a community service event where players come back and not liked it or got a good feeling of it or whatever it is, and hopefully we're teaching them. We talk about being a man, and we're teaching them things that go on way beyond football. And so, this past weekend we were out at Navability in DuQuoin, which is an awesome weekend in my hometown of DuQuoin, camp that is really eye-opening to a bunch of our guys. It's hard to complain after you go to that camp. It's really a perfect time for some of our players to go right before training camp, because training camp's a good time to make some excuses, feel sorry for yourself a couple weeks into camp, and things are getting long and you might be a little bit tired. But when you see a kid out there playing catch with no arms or one leg or whatever it is, and they're having a blast, and for our guys to get to interact with them, it was a special weekend for sure.
Did you go anywhere this summer with your family?
Went back to Iowa. That was it.
Great state of Iowa.
So we always make our way back there, and really, with Skylar and Alicia, and we're always on the go with recruiting and being gone. It's been nice to just kind of relax, and we moved into our house not even about a year ago. So just to hang out and relax and enjoy our house and not really have a schedule. Sometimes you go on vacation and it's more busy than just staying at home. So we were able to get back and see family, and it's been nice just hanging out in DuQuoin, some with my parents, but no real vacations.
Do you hang out with AJ a lot? Do you get to see your brother a lot?
Yeah, I see him quite a bit. Like I said, we get back up to my parents' house. My parents have a pool, so and my sister's got 3 young kids, and with Skylar getting to the age where she enjoys the pool, and so we're in DuQuoin quite a bit. So I see him every week, So, and he gets down here to Carbondale, and so get to hang out with AJ quite a bit.
Are you guys planning to help students move in too? First weekend?
Yeah,
whatever?
It's actually not a weekend this year just because of the eclipse. It's on that.
Yeah.
We're doing it on the Wednesday before, so it's like the 16th or 17th. I think we're helping people move in.
Anything else to add?
I don't think. No, we're excited. It's crazy how fast time goes by, and but season's about here, and we'll use these last couple of weeks to keep training and getting in shape. But then training camp will be here, and then before you know that, then the first game will be rolling, and we know how fast the season goes by too. So can't really look ahead or wish time away. Just gotta live in the moment and know that each day is preparing you for something. So we gotta keep our nose to the ground, keep working.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being my first guest,
All right.
first podcast guest, Nick Hill.